Hello and welcome back to Scratch for Beginners. This second set of tutorials will be showing you how to make a racing game. Previously we showed you how to make a first person shooter, and that one was a bit more complicated than sort of your average activities that you'd be able to get on with in Scratch, and this hopefully will be a little bit more taxing for those of you who have managed to get through the previous tutorials. So right, what we'll do is we'll start with, as you can see here, you've got a green background with a grey track on it. What we did here is we clicked on the stage, and then you go into the backgrounds tab here, click onto paint, and you get this up. And basically all I did was get a square here, draw out a square block like that, go to the fill tool, get the grass, fill the grass in, although it's probably a bit darker actually, and then go to the paint tool, increase the size a little bit and click on the grey. And this, very easy, go around and just make a custom track of some kind. Obviously I've done this quite quickly, so this wouldn't be as good as the ones that you guys would be making. So yeah, anyway, so you do that and then you just click OK usually, but as I already have my background, I'll just click cancel. So that's how you get your background. You've got a little car here. This car, very simple. All I did was take a picture of this car, which is actually a Lexus, sports car of some kind, take it off Google, an aerial view, and throw it into, go into here, go to the costumes, throw it into paint, and then I just cropped around the edge here with a rubber tool, which just made it a solid car shape. And last but not least, the skid mark for when the car goes too fast, goes over its top speed, and then it skids across and leaves a black mark. And that was literally just the same kind of thing. Into costumes tab on the skid mark, sprite there, go into paint, and all it would be, get a brush, reasonable size brush, sort of that, click on the black, and then just sort of go like that, which creates some kind of skid mark, and then press OK. Obviously I've got it, so I'll click cancel. Okay, so to start with, after that we have the finish line here. This finish line again was just taken off Google and cropped it around the edges, and then just imported it straight into Scratch, reorientated it and resized it and put it here. Okay, so to start off, we'll do this in a couple of videos, so it's not too long. The coding for the finish line. So you click on the finish here, go up to scripts, and you go into the control section here, grab one of these, which is when green flag is clicked, drop it in the coding panel here, and then go over to motion, grab onto this one here, and then all I did was grab the sprite when it was dropped in here, position it, and then as you can see these numbers here change depending on where you are on the screen, and that's up there, and that's sort of roughly what this is. So it'd be -137 and the y-axis would be 123, and that just means that every time you start the game it orientates the finish line there on the track, which is where I wanted to put it. You can put it anywhere you like, it doesn't matter, that's just where I chose. Okay, next we will go on to, we'll look at the variables, because there's various variables you can see here that have been used, speed, etc., and lap start down here. The variables you need for this particular game are here. So you just click make a variable, and then it asks you to type in a variable name, call it whatever you like, press OK, and then press cancel, and it brings it into here. And I've chosen to have lap start, lap start, lap time, and speed, which seems to be the one we've used the most in this particular game. Okay, so before we move on to the more complex coding, I'll just show you what we've got for the stage here. The stage also has its own little bit of scripting here. Click on the scripts tab, obviously, and then another one of these, which is in the control section. So when green flag clicked, then you go to variables, and you would have already made your variables by this point. So you go into variables and you go to set to, grab a couple of these, drag them into the coding box, and then you just say set the lap time to 0, and then set the lap, which is there, to 0. That basically means that whenever you start a game, so when the green flag is clicked, it sets the lap time, because obviously you haven't gone anywhere yet, to 0. So it's not on a number that isn't your lap time. And then the lap here to 0 as well, as we don't want any laps to have elapsed when you start your game. So that's that, and we've done the finish line. So next, what we'll do is we move on to the car. Now the car is a little bit more complicated. We start with, what I'll do is I'll start with this bit here. So the car is our sprite, you can see him there and you can see him down here. And this bit here we'll start with, I'll move this down so it's out of the way, so it's easier to see. So when the green flag clicked, so in the control section here, looks, so this means that the car, go into looks, and we say go to front. We want the car to go to the front, because obviously we've got several images, the finish line here, the background, and the car. So it just means the car goes to the front, and we set the speed here, which is in the variables section, which we set our speed variable earlier. So we set the speed to 0. So again, you don't want to be moving forwards or backwards when you start your racing game. When you click the green flag, it waits for 0.1 of a second and then orientates the car to the position where I have set it to orientate to. So if I press green, the car will move forward to the setting where I've wanted it to move. And as you saw there, that lit up there, showing that it was working. So the car goes to these coordinates, which is x -105 and y 137. This bit here, point in direction. Again, this is in the motions section, point in direction, and this just means it's pointing this way at this angle. Across here, as you can see here, it's been orientated direction -115, -115 here. It doesn't have to be that, whatever you want to do for your game is fine. So this last little bit here is, we have a forever loop going all around this, as you can see, so the forever gets tapped onto the bottom there. And then we have an if statement here. So if, and then we grab this here from the sensing area. So it's sensing something. So we go to if touching color, and then this is very easy. If you want to say what the color's touching, whatever your color grass is, you get the tabber here, and then you click on the green, and then it sets that color there to green. So forever, if the car is touching the color green, and here it says there's another nested if here, and it also says if the car is touching the color green, and if the car's speed, which is one of our variables, which is in here, so you just drag that in, and this is an operator. Operators are less than, times, pick randoms, equals, ands, ors, and nots, as you can see down here. So if the speed is more than 1, then this automatically sets the speed, which is, you can choose from here, speed to, and you've got another operator here, which is the divide button, divide operator rather, which is here. So it's setting the speed that you're going to your speed divided by 1.1, and then that if ends there, and then that if ends around there, and then move speed steps. This basically means that you'll move to this amount of speed, and then that ends. So all of this means that when you click the green flag, car moves to the front of the pictures, it sets the speed to 0 when it starts, waits 0.1 seconds, then orientates the car to these axes here, points in this particular direction, which is here, like that, and then all this means is if the car's touching the grass, it slows the speed down to speed divided by 1.1, and then as soon as you take off the grass, then you can start speeding back up again. I'm going to end that tutorial here, and then we'll move on to the more complex coding onto the next video. Thank you.